Hopefully by now, my videos have helped you all get the shinies that you want, and this video is no exception. We're going to be going into the depths of Area 0, and kind of like Fluttermane, we're going to be excluding all the Pokemon and focusing only on one Pokemon so that we can get shinies very easily. This is going to be repeatable in both Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's going to be built on the same principles of the Fluttermane glitch. However, this is not a glitch. This is legit, and you're going to be able to get shinies, a lot of them, very quickly, because you're only getting spawns for one Pokemon and you're excluding everything else. Let's have a look at how it works. So just a quick shout out to Japan in general, because I saw a bunch of people talking about this and using this method over on Twitter. However, I could not find the original source. The earliest video is all the way back in the 30th of November, and he thanks the original finder, but he doesn't say who it is. So shout out to Japan, I guess. So depending on what version you have, you're going to be able to get different shiny Paradox Pokemon spawning in the same area, all by just one by one, right? Depending on what sandwich buff encounter you use, you'll be able to exclude everything else and just make certain ones appear. So I'm going to hunt for the Great Tusk. That's going to be the one I'm going to choose. Screaming Tail you can also do with Brute Bonnet as well, Fluttermane, Iron Treads, Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, Iron Jugulis as well, and Iron Valiant. You'll be able to get all of those really easily doing this method. So I realized Christmas is coming up, and I thought I'd point this out to people who want to get their hands on the game cheaply. Alright, you can get 10% discount over on my website at blaines.gg by using code BLAINES at the end of your purchase, and you'll be able to get the game digitally or the eShop cards digitally, but actually the 10% discount applies to absolutely everything in the store. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and have a look. Just make sure the country you choose here corresponds with your Nintendo account that you want to use, and you'll get the code sent to you pretty much straight away. Okay, so in this area, before we go in, we're going to set up a picnic because we're going to want to give ourselves the shiny boost and the encounter boost for fighting type so we can hone in on just the Great Tusk. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, for the sake of this video, then a demonstration, I'm just going to use the simple ingredients, the simple recipes, which is just one ingredient and then 2 salty herbs. You guys are free to use the multi-ingredient and the mix of herbs if you want. That's your call. But you do have to be careful to make sure you get the encounter power, not the catching power. So the key ingredient for fighting is pickle. Right there, 1 pickle will do, and then 2 salty herbs. I just want to show you that there. There's 2 right there. Okay, bam, bam, and that's all we gotta make. Silver pick, any pick will do. Okay, so I've gotten my boosts. Now, using the salty herba, the simple recipes, you're always going to get encounter, title, and sparkling. If you guys are using the other ingredients with a lot of different ingredients and the mix of herbs, you have to be careful to make sure you get encounter and not catching, because some combination of herbs will give you catching instead, and that's probably why some people are wondering and are confused why they're not getting the only Pokemon spawn that just like I did in my video, and you're just getting a mix of spawns. So just go back, double check that, make sure you do get encounter, and then we're good to go. And of course, make sure you go for the right typing sandwich for the encounter buff. If you're already getting a couple of different fighting Pokemon, as you might very well be, make sure you go for the fairy buff so you can exclude everything else and just get Iron Valiant, for example. Iron Hands is another good example, because if you choose the fighting buff, you're going to get the Iron Valiant and Iron Hands mixed up, so go for electric in that case in order to farm Iron Hands. When you got your buffs, we're going to go ahead in here. I'm going to teleport to Research Station number 4. So that's all the way down at the bottom. It's all the way in the caves, and that's exactly where you're going to go. I'm going to show you where you can abuse it. So let's go down to Research Station number 4. We're going to be picking a very special location, which is only going to give us the fighting type Pokemon that we're looking for, which is going to be the Great Tusks. Let's go ahead and go straight down here once we leave the building. You can already see it's looking nice, but we're going to jump off this cliff over here and go to the crystals. So that rock with the item on it is the key ingredient here. This is just going to spawn back to back these guys, nothing but these guys, and it's going to be super ridiculously easy to get a shiny, and all you got to do is go back and forth. But make sure your cameras are panning correctly so you can get your shinies and you don't miss out on them. That's just a little pro tip. You can despawn them very easily on the crystal, and you don't even have to turn your camera around or anything. I didn't despawn the firm too, but that's fine. And then that's all you gotta do. It's just like Picnic Reset, except it's quicker, it's easier. There's a lot of them that spawn there too, by the way. A lot of them. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to jump on the crystal if you don't want to. If you're lazy, you know, just do it like this. You can just see them pop up. It's not gonna be the whole rock, but it's good enough. It's definitely good enough. And you can just despawn them like that. Super easy. So I'll be back in a sec when I get my first shiny, which should not be very long. Also, just a little side note, the reason we come here and do this area is because this crystal doesn't spawn any of them. We're not in an area where they can spawn anywhere except for on this rock. That's why they're all being forced to spawn there. So it's super convenient for us. Alright, there is our first shiny. Sweet. And I'm actually doing it like this. I'm going to the edge of this crystal and just letting them spawn. But I'm going to show you something that's important right after this, because I just picked up the technique, a better technique, I guess, as I've been doing this. But let's go ahead and get our shiny here. Bam, nice. Alright, once you've caught your shiny, guys, when you're walking back, when you're looking for them, when you're walking back from your crystal, just walk slowly, because new ones will spawn at the front. You don't want to accidentally pop a shiny and then just end up having run it out of spawn. So just, this is how I'm doing it. I'm just going right to the edge of the crystal here, giving them a chance to spawn in. You don't actually have to jump, because you cover most of the rock here, and they all spawn just fine. And then we're just going to walk slowly back a little bit, so we can spawn new ones at the front. And that's it. By the way, the first shiny came up at about 15 minutes there on the sandwich, so we're going to see if we can get any more. There's another one. Okay, I mean, you know, this is pretty straightforward, guys. It really is. So we're just going to go and bump into this one if we can. It's going to be a little rough. You can try using your, what is it, the auto battles to clear out some of these guys, but they might keep respawning. That's the only problem. Either way, we shouldn't have too many issues with this. That's another one for the bag. That second shiny was obtained with 6 minutes left on the clock. Let's see if we can get any more. Okay, so you'll know when your sandwich is up when other Pokemon start respawning. My sandwich just ended right now. So let's have a look at what we just got. Here are those two shinies. One is a fighting and one is a ground Terra type. So let's check the summary to see if they have any markings. This has a mark on it. Okay, we got one with a mark on it. Let's have a look at what that is. Sadly, you have to put them in your party to actually see. So let's just check them out right now. Great Tusk, onto the mark page, and what he has is intellectual mark. A mark for Scholar, a Pokemon. Okay, Great Tusk, the Scholar. Is that rare? That might be a rare one. That's pretty cool. So these are all the spawns that can spawn in Area 0. Depending on your version, why don't you try finding some areas that are only this typing and try doing something similar. You can pretty much get away with doing this in many areas. If you haven't seen my video from like yesterday with the manufacturing, or was it 2 days ago with the mass producing the shiny Larvitars and Bagons, you can do the same thing in many areas. It's just a matter of finding where this works. And we did find one for Fluttermane, which was a whole unique glitch. We found one for Great Tusk, and I think this is going to work for a lot of different typings too. So give them a shot, folks. Have fun with this and get your easy shinies. That's going to be a wrap for this video. Don't forget to check out my store if you are indeed trying to get some discounts, save some money on all those eShop cards and the games themselves. I'll see you around in the next video. We'll see if we can find some more locations like this, because these are making shiny hunting super easy and fun too, you know, because you know you're going to get one. It's practically guaranteed when you do this. When you pop a sandwich, I got 2, and you know, many people in my comments are getting more than 2, and that's without the shiny charm. So I mean, just go get them, Tigers. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.